We can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, I've just had to
Mhm.
change over the internet because the internet was getting a little bit unstable. So now it's a lot stronger. So you shouldn't have that problem again. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks, Neil. Right, let me get my screen back up because, like I said, that information I'm about to share is so powerful. It's probably the most powerful slide in today's presentation. Okay, right. So, G, can you see my screen? Can everyone see my
Yes,
screen?
I can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
Dawn's hand is raised. Go ahead, Dawn, quickly. Dawn? I can't hear you now. Unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
I was saying that I could hear you. That's what I meant by that. That's why I
Okay.
put the hand up.
Thank you so much. All right. So GALT, the gut immunity, is one of the most powerful myths that people have never been told or never been shared or never been shown where your immune system is located. Now, there's a thing called GALT, which is gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or GALT, which is the complex function of the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. It's a critical protective immune system in the gastrointestinal tract. It regulates the cells in the mucosa and submucosa of the small intestine, and it contains, now listen to this, you've heard about these terms related to your immune function. You've heard about CD4 in relation to people with HIV. You may have heard of CD8. You probably heard of T cells, or your T cells, which they talk about in the news in relation to talking about herd immunity and T cell immunity. These are your main immune cells, your B cells, which are your natural killer cells, and your M cells. Basically, it's your whole immune system. Your whole immune system is contained within this GALT, gut-associated lymphoid tissue. What are M cells? M cells are microfold cells, and they're located in the epithelium covering the mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue. That's the moat there, because you've got the GALT meets the moat. These are some of the most important areas of your body, of your gut, that you've never heard about. And it covers things such as Peyer's patches of the small intestine. And what they do, they actively transport antigens to the underlying lymphoid follicles to initiate an immune response. So basically, these are your fighter cells. This is your defense of your body. Now, the main defense of your body, guess where it's situated? Inside your gut. All these activities are coordinated from your gut, the immune system headquarters. That's the gut is the headquarters of the immune system. Over 70% of your immune system is situated inside your gut. Why don't they tell people this? Why are people not made aware of this? They tell you about breaking news. They tell you about how many people have died. They tell you about washing your hands. But why don't they tell you that the majority of your immune system is situated in your gut? Why? Because they want you to continue eating and filling your body up and overloading your body with toxins and bacteria and pathogens that are going to weaken your immune system, that will eventually lead to you getting sick, which is going to definitely get you to come to the GP and end up coming into and having some interaction with big pharma. What is your microbiome? Your microbiome is the second most important element of your body. The microbiome is the combination of the bacteria, the viruses, the pathogens that make up our body. Our body is made up of microbiome. Viruses are part of our microbiome. We need viruses. We need bacteria. We need pathogens. These are the things that keep our immune system in check. If your immune system has nothing to do, nothing to fight, it will literally go to sleep. And this is what they're doing by putting you in lockdown. It's locking your immune system down, and it's causing your immune system to go to sleep because it's giving it nothing to do. So all it's going to do is keep fighting the recycled pathogens and germs that it's already come into contact with. This is why I don't really believe this so-called vaccine is going to be any good for you, because it's going to cause your body to start making more diseases or making more pathogens. That's going to give your immune system additional work to do fighting these manufactured pathogens or manufactured diseases in the blood. And they'll tell you that it's the whole point is to produce antibodies, but your body only needs to produce antibodies when it has a perceived threat. But if it's given a threat to fight every single day, as this vaccine is supposed to do, to trigger, well, I wouldn't even call it a vaccine, we call it a medical device, because it's an mRNA vaccine, because it's interfering with your cellular function. So it's actually a medical device, it's actually not a vaccine. But they'll give me this medical device that's going to cause your immune system to start producing pathogens that will give the immune system something to fight. So if your immune system's fighting day in, day out, year in, year on, year off, you will think that, yes, your immune system is at a heightened state of awareness. That is, yes, the case. But guess what? When you come into contact with a real live wild virus, because your immune system's been fighting all year, when it comes into contact with a real wild virus that probably wouldn't really have, you'll probably deal with it naturally, it's going to go into immune overdrive. This is what's going to cause you to have like a anaphylactic shock type response to that natural virus, and it will cause your body to go into overdrive and may well shut down all of your organs. Can you hear me? I'm just some of the bishop that you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you. So this is why we don't agree with obviously people taking that medical device, because it's only going to overstimulate your immune system, which is working perfectly fine by itself. And I'm just digressing a little bit because it's very important that we stress this. If you recognize that some of the information, there's a lot of nonsense, but you can take the sense from the nonsense. If you recognize that even with a vaccine or with an injection, it still relies on the immune system to complete the process. It needs the immune system to produce the antibodies, which the immune system is already doing, and doing it perfectly well by itself, which it has been doing for hundreds of thousands of years. If they then still rely on the immune system that's been working perfectly well by itself to produce antibodies, why do you need to have a third party? Why do you need a middleman? If the body's already doing what it's designed to do, why do you need this third intervention, this additional intervention to make the body do what it's already designed to do, only when it's faced with a specific type of threat? Why do you need it? Why do you need it? But they've convinced you that you need it because they've bombarded you with fear and all these numbers and all these statistics and all these death rates. You shouldn't have to be making a decision based on illogical rationale. This is not logical. It doesn't make sense. If you've already got an immune system and they're going to inject you with something that's going to cause your immune system to do what's already doing, why do you need the middleman? Why do you need the injection in the first place? Anyway, just something for you to think about. Lastly, if this was a real pandemic, surely they'll be telling you, public, calm down, we've got this under control, we'll get you back to normal as soon as possible. That's what a real pandemic will do. The government will be trying to tell you, calm down, we'll get the best scientists at work, we're going to get you, get you the things that you need. If somebody suggests that you can use something to boost your immune system, they'll be using all those tools. They're not doing that. They're only telling about death and numbers of people dying every day. So we've got to really be careful not to get distracted with the rhetoric, and to focus on the fact and focus on the reality, which is that our immune system is in our own control, it's in our hands, and 70% of our immune system is actually in our gut. Once you understand the basic fundamentals of the immune system, that it relies on bacteria, it relies on your microbiome and the condition of that microbiome, you can then start to do the things you need to do to build that microbiome and to build your gut and to strengthen your gut so you can strengthen your immune system. Now, when you have these gut-associated lymphoid tissues, they're the largest mass of lymphoid tissue in the body, and they consist of your immune cells and your epithelial cells, your intraepithelial lymphocytes. The gut-associated tissue, it processes antigens from food and bacteria, and it doesn't trigger an inflammatory response, because that's what the immune system does. It controls all these foods that are brought into your body, all these foreign elements, properties that are brought into your body. It controls them without producing an inflammatory response. And it retains the ability to recognize and respond to the negative bacteria. So it's able to control bad stuff without overreacting, and to deal with the good stuff, and to make sure your body has the right amount of tools it needs to keep your immune system and your defenses nicely and well charged up. So if you have this capacity or capability already existing within your gut, your job as the host is to make sure you feed your gut with as many health promoting foods as possible so you can really strengthen your immune system. Now, once you realize that over 70% of our immune system is situated in our gut, remember that term, gut-associated lymphoid tissue, gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or GALT, GALT for short. This is where the majority of the immune system is. And we always tell our clients, whenever we have a client that ever a client has a cold, or they have flu, or they have any kind of skin issue, or things that they probably wouldn't necessarily think of the gut for, they'll ask us, what can we do? We've got a flu. The first thing we say to them is take the Oxyflush. Now, Oxyflush, you can see, is our product here on the right. This is one of our top and main and best-selling products of our entire range. Why? Because it focuses on clearing all the waste material that accumulates in the gut. It's a very gentle, powerful way to eliminate all the toxins without having any side effects, without any of the, the normal cramping or the usual nonsense that you experience when you're using any kind of bowel cleansers. But this one is a very natural product. It's oxygenated magnesium, so it's all natural products. And you take it at night, and it works overnight, breaking down all the waste matter, all the fecal matter that's built up in your system or accumulated in your colon. and it turns it into liquid overnight. And in the morning, you have a nice, gentle, watery stool, so all the waste starts coming out. So when people have a flu or any kind of serious respiratory ailment, they'll call us up and we'll say to them, take the Oxyflush. They're like, Oxyflush? But they think Oxyflush, that's for my gut. And I'm like, yep, take the Oxyflush. They're like, why? I said, take the Oxyflush. Anyway, they'll take the Oxyflush and then they'll call me back in 3 days. I'll say, call back in 3 days time, because I know it takes about 3 days for the system to regulate itself once it's eliminated a lot of the toxins. They'll call back in 3 days time and I'll ask them, how are they feeling? They will always say a lot better. And I always ask them to quantify in terms of percentage, how much better are you feeling? And the answer is always about 70% or more. Some say 80%, some say 85%. They're not quite there, but they're a whole lot better. And they've not taken any of their regular Lemsip and all the other stuff they'll normally take associated with having a flu or cold type situation. And then I'd wonder, why do they always say 70%? And the reason why is because they don't realize that 70% of their immune system is headquartered in the gut. So once they've cleared out all that waste, all that gunk that's been overloading their system from their food, from their diet, from their indulgence, from Christmas, from their chocolates, from the cakes, from the sugar that they've been eating, which has been feeding the bad bacteria, it's overloaded their immune system. And once they've eliminated all that additional waste that's weighed down on the immune system, it's now freed up all those B cells, those T cells, those CD4 cells, those CD8 cells, those natural killer cells, and those M cells, which are your immune system, to go and start fighting things in the throat, in the nose, in the respiratory system, in the lungs, in the heart. Wherever there's problems in the body or wherever there's disorder in the body, they've freed up all those immune cells. By them taking out all that waste from the gut, they've allowed their immune system to ramp up its activity to go and fight diseases elsewhere in the body. So let's look at some health conditions that are directly impacted by the health of your gut. You've got things like bloating. Again, linked to the levels of bad bacteria building up in your gut and your food not being able to be digested properly. So as soon as you eat, your stomach bloats out. Why? Because you've got too many bad bacteria. You haven't got enough good gut bacteria. When we said about the microbiome, your balance of bacteria is very unevenly weighed at the moment. So therefore, your bacteria that you need to digest your food and the bacteria that's been produced as a result of your sugar, your cakes, your sweet foods, your savory foods, your biscuits, etc., has now put your microbiome out of sync. It's not in, you haven't got a good gut flora, so you start to experience bloating because your food's not being broken down by the bacteria. You need bacteria to break down your food. IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome, inflammation. See that word again? Then lung and respiratory issues, colds and flu, back pain. Back pain is very closely linked to your gut, the condition of your gut. So once you take the Oxyflush, it really clears out any back pain because of the back patches starts to get blocked up and food can't get through. So it starts to cause inflammation in your back. Eczema, psoriasis, skin conditions, again linked to your gut because obviously everything comes from the gut and gets into the bloodstream. Once it gets into the bloodstream, obviously the biggest organ in your body is your skin. Dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. I was talking to somebody last night on our Telegram group about the impact of Parkinson's and when they have necrosis, which is when your tissues start to die because you haven't got enough oxygen going to the brain, and when the brain starts to be starved of oxygen because there's too much bacteria in the blood, which is now carrying poison or toxic blood to the brain tissues in the brain aren't being serviced with the oxygen and the nutrients that they need to continue regenerating themselves. So those tissues start to eventually die off. And as the tissues start to die off, you then start to have a reduced capacity of the brain's ability to function, and the central nervous system starts to shut down. So when you start to send these millions of signals per second to your organs, to your limbs, your hands, etc., you start to get interruptions, you start to have shakes and tremors, depending on the level of damage or the level of toxic overload or the lack of oxygen for the longer period of time. That will determine the level of shakes and tremors that you have. In Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, all similar along the same lines, but they all start in the gut. Arthritis, autism, we've had such great results with autistic children, such amazing results with autistic children. Again, linked to the levels of toxins, the heavy metals, that are all situated in the gut, that are affecting the brain. Diabetes, alopecia, hair loss, so many areas. Your hair linked to your gut. Your immune system, your body's ability to absorb nutrients is all situated in your gut. If you're not getting enough nutrients, your body's not going to receive the right minerals, the collagen, etc., to feed the follicles, to stimulate the hair growth, because your hair grows at 100 hairs a day. But you also lose 100 hairs a day. So if you lose 100 hairs a day, when your body's in a state of order, you're supposed to grow back a fresh 100. But if you're losing 100 hairs a day and your gut is in a state of disrepair and you haven't got the right balance, your microbiome's out, you're not absorbing the right amount of foods, you're not absorbing the right amount of nutrients, instead of you growing back 100, you may grow back 80, then 70, then 60, then 50, then 40. So you lose the hair that you're supposed to lose as normal, but instead of you growing back all the hair, you might only grow back 50% of the hair, and then your hair starts to thin. Then you start to see hair, hair breaking off, or then you start to get pattern baldness, or then alopecia. It's all linked. Again, it starts in the gut. This all starts in the gut. Life and death begin and end in the gut. So this hack here just focuses on your gut. Forget about the lungs for a minute. Go to the source. Go to the source, deal with your gut, and you'll find that your body is more than capable to deal with any other problems that are being experienced in other parts of the body. And this is what they don't tell you. They'll tell you, keep eating what you like, eat what you want, don't worry about that, just eat, wash your hands, take the jab, which is, anyway. Gut immunity, really key. Listen to your gut, listen to your body, work on your gut, and start to really look at how you can really start to remove a lot of these impurities, remove a lot of these toxins, and start to free up the pressure and the stress from your immune system. And OxyFlush is a fantastic tool that is available to help you achieve that. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Feet first. This is hack number 3. I love this hack. I really do absolutely love this hack for your health. I discovered this about 10 years ago when I used to have a lot of hard skin on the bottom of my feet. And as a result of having this hard skin, I used to get a pumice stone. Actually, I used to go beyond a pumice stone. I used to get a blade. My skin used to be hard because I used to wear a lot of shoes and flat shoes. And the skin on the bottom of my feet used to get really hard. And this is a really important hack. This is another really powerful hack. Because the skin on the bottom of my feet used to get hard, I used to get a blade maybe every 3 months or 4 months. And I would just start to cut away. It was so hard, I can cut it off. I can literally cut it off. You see this part in the middle here? Hope you can see this. I'm going to move the screen over. I'm going to move this out of the way. Can you see the part in the middle where it's got the yellow, big yellow part here where the mouse is, where it says lung, and it's got lung and cardiac area? Can anybody see that? Yep, thank you. Okay, this area here, this is where the hard skin starts to build up. These areas here, reflexology, just so you understand what we're talking about here, is the application of pressure to areas on the feet or hands to help alleviate stress. Yeah, that's the point, the purpose of reflexology. Now, the theory behind reflexology is that areas of the foot or the feet, they correspond with each and every individual organ and system of the body. This is the theory behind reflexology, and it's been proven time and time again. You have a lot of reflexologists, but they're very underrated because people don't realize the power and the impact that they have on your body. So I discovered 10 years ago, when I used to have these hard skin on my feet, I used to cut them off. And as I'm cutting them off, as I do one foot, immediately I started to notice, I'll be going, I'm like, wow. I was just noticing that my lungs, my chest, whatever was on my chest was just starting to clear away. Whatever mucus was building up on my chest was just starting to disintegrate, and I was just clearing my throat continuously for at least 5 or 10 minutes. Eventually, I then started to correlate that every time I cleaned the bottom of my foot, that it was having an impact on my lung. I then stumbled across this, that there was actually a discipline and a therapy called reflexology, which was actually a trained, designed system of manipulating different parts of the body through the feet. I didn't know that even existed. So this is another hack that you can use when you find people are struggling with respiratory problems or the ability to breathe and to receive air. Check the bottom of their feet. Check the bottom of their feet. See if they've got any hard skin. If you've got parents or elderly parents that are having problems with breathing, before you go and start giving them these pumps and all these medications, just check the bottom of their feet to see if they've got any hard skin. You can buy a kit. I know they may not have the chiropodist and stuff open at the moment, but buy yourself a kit. You can get them online. Get a kit, a pedicure kit, and just start to scrape away that hard skin. As you scrape it away, you'll hear them literally clearing their throat at the same time, simultaneously, as you're clearing that hard skin or that dead skin away. Now, I know some of you may use a pumice stone or a hard stone to clean the bottom of your feet, but I don't think you realize that, or I'm not sure if you're aware, that this is actually exercising and actually clearing and purifying your lung and their function. If you notice all the toes, if you get calluses on your toes, especially on that toe next to your big toe, you cut that toe, that lump that comes on your big toe, that also has an impact on your lungs because it affects your sinus. It impacts your sinus. So where you have problems with your sinuses, you may find that you have a callus on your big toe. So just by shaving down or whatever you want to use, rubbing it down to get rid of those calluses, you'll find that it's going to improve your respiratory function and your lungs, the function of your lungs. So that's another really powerful hack I wanted to share with you today. I was so excited when I realized that I could actually use that as something that could impact the lungs. And when we start to use or talk about the essential oils, this is why when you put essential oils, I didn't mention this before, but now I think it's an apt time to use it, to mention it. When you put essential oils on the soles of your feet, it goes directly to the lungs. If you have a problem with your lungs or someone's breathing or they're suffering with COVID, they're struggling to breathe, get some of the Respirate Lung Blend and put it on the soles of their feet. Just a drop on each foot. Just rub it in, put some on the front of their chest and on their back and let them sleep. And you'll find that their breathing starts to improve almost instantaneously, within seconds, because that, whatever you put on the bottom of your feet goes directly into your lungs straight away. And a lot of people experiencing things like back pain. So just like while we're here on the reflexology, different parts of the feet correspond with different parts of the body. If you have a look at this diagram here, you'll see at the bottom here, people have back pain. The sciatic nerve is linked to just inside the heel, the bottom of your heel. So if you've got a problem with your sciatica, back pain, your coccyx, they're all linked to the back of the feet here. So you may want to have a look around there and see if you have any hard skin or dead skin building up in those areas as well. You can get the Pumice Stone and scrape those down. Again, these are really simple hacks that you can do in the comfort of your own home, but you have no idea how powerfully they are impacting your overall health. Okay, that's hack number 3. Let's go to, okay, a few more bits here before we move on. So what can reflexology help you to do? There's so many areas it can help you with. Let's have a quick look. You've got obviously the feet in the middle here. It affects the throat, your sinuses, your nose, your trachea, your bronchi, your lungs, your diaphragm. They're all linked to that central area. But some of the things it can help you with are things like reducing stress and anxiety. A lot of people are suffering with anxiety now because they're watching the news too much. They're worried about what if they, if they can fly, if they have to take the jab at work. All nonsense. None of that's going to happen. It will happen eventually, but not for now. They've just putting the infrastructure in place for the New World Order. It's not going to happen just now, but they're trying to scare you and get you into a place of submission so they can hopefully move their agenda forward. None of these things are going to happen now. There's a lot of them are threats. People are still traveling. People are going away. They're going on holiday. They're coming back. They're just trying to, keep you scared. There's a lot of it is hype and sensationalism to really get you scared in that place of fear where you make wrong decisions. So a lot of anxiety is being, developed as a result of people watching the news and believing what they're hearing, which is a lot of lies. So trying to cut down on your news, watching the news, and watching things that are not really feeding your body or feeding your mind, and helping your immune system to function optimally. Also, reduce pain. It helps you to lift your mood. Reflexology can help lift your mood. It can help improve general well-being. It can help boost your immune system. It can help you fight cancer. Clears out your sinuses, recover from back problems, correct hormonal imbalances. It can also boost fertility, just using reflexology, improve digestion. It can ease arthritic pain. You can get over colds and bacterial infections and treat nerve problems and numbness from cancer treatments and peripheral neuropathy. So those are some of the hacks that you can use just using reflexology. If you don't know anything about it, you can go and look it up, do a little bit of research on it, get a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more understanding of the theory and the practical application, and look at some of the simple things that you can do yourself in your home to significantly improve your health. We're here to help you and to guide you and to provide you with the additional or necessary tools that you may need to support that research and development. But yeah, try and really empower yourself with as much information as you can to really maximize on what is readily available and accessible to you. Okay, let's move on to teeth. Now, teeth is another area that you have a lot of hacks, a lot of things that you can do that you probably aren't aware that you can do to really help positively impact your teeth. One of them is, the key one I've said is, I've always stressed this, that when it comes to teeth, no treatment is the best treatment. If you can avoid having treatment for your teeth, that is the best place to be, especially now that dentists are closed. A lot of dentists are closed. I'm not sure if any are open, but I'm not any that are open. So if you can avoid having any kind of dental treatment, that is the best place to be for maintaining the health of your teeth, because you're never going to get any better. Whatever they do, root canal, deep root canal, it's always going to make your problems worse, and they're going to compound them. You're always going to have a long-term issue or long-standing issue with trying to manage and maintain a bacteria-free environment once they've interfered or had any kind of medical or surgical intervention. So number one, no treatment. Number two, change your toothbrush regularly. These are going to whiz through really quickly because they're quite simple and straightforward. Change your toothbrush regularly. That means if you have a normal toothbrush, every 4 weeks, because you don't want to keep moving those bacteria around and around and recycling them. If you want to keep your toothbrush longer, get one of our sprays, our L'Oeil d'Argent sprays, or it's called L'Oeil d'Argent. It's a silver spray, which means silver water. And spray your toothbrush every night, and it kills off all the bacteria. It kills all the bacteria. So if you want to use a brush longer than 4 weeks, spray the silver spray on the toothbrush and just kill off all the bacteria as part of your teeth cleaning regime. But maximum, I'd say, is 5 weeks, 6 weeks max at a push if you're really struggling. But, go to a shop, the pound shop, buy about, a pack of 4 or 5 and just change them every 4 weeks. That's the ideal. Change the toothbrush every 4 weeks. Himalayan pink salt. When you finish brushing, morning and evening, always try and brush twice a day for maximum results and good, keeping good gum health. Get a teaspoon of pink salt and gargle with it morning and evening. Coconut oil pulling, another very powerful tool you can use. Coconut oil pulling, I'll talk about that in a little bit after this slide here. Gargle with colloidal silver. Gargle with colloidal silver is an amazing hack you can do to kill bacteria in your mouth. Rinse or gargle with live probiotics. Now, we have a lot of live probiotics that are liquid. They're really powerful. Again, you put a teaspoon or a tablespoon in your mouth and you swish it around. And what does it do? It starts to build the microbiome in your mouth, in your gums, because every part of your body has a flora, which is your good and bad bacteria, your balance of good and bad bacteria. You have a flora in your mouth, you've got a flora in your hand, you've got a flora in your lungs, you've got a flora in your gut. Most areas in your body have a gut flora, which is a balance of good and bad bacteria. So by you rinsing your mouth with live probiotics, it helps you to replenish any lost good bacteria through excessive consumption of sweets or sweet type foods, which will then feed the bad bacteria and allow you to have an inordinate amount of unhealthy bacteria thriving and developing in your gums, which will then start to lead to tooth decay. So get some probiotics, some live probiotics, and gargle with that, part of your tooth regime or your teeth maintenance regime, and let's do that morning and evening just to keep the healthy flora of your gums well maintained. Daily flossing. I hate flossing, to be honest, because I think it's so difficult to do, but I prefer to use a toothpick. A toothpick is a lot easier. You can just use it after your food and just pick out all the bits from your teeth. You see a lot of Africans doing it after they've had their meal, but you can also see the condition of their teeth when you see them smiling. So try and get a toothpick. If you don't want to use a floss like me, use a toothpick, push it in your teeth, just flicks out all the food. And when you brush them, you'll find that you have a much more healthier feel when you run your tongue around your teeth. And then, of course, brush twice daily, minimum brush twice daily. If you know you're eating a lot of sweet foods, maybe brush even more than twice, no harm in that. But once in the morning and definitely once at night before you go to bed, and make sure you've got a clean toothbrush. If you finish brushing, just spray a little on the toothbrush and then put it wherever you put it to keep it overnight to make sure that the bacteria is not being recycled over and over. Okay, how can you keep strong, healthy teeth? Oil pulling. I mentioned oil pulling earlier because oil pulling is a very powerful method that you can use to keep your gums clear, and it also supports your digestive process. How you do it, you just take 1 tablespoon of oil, coconut oil we'll say, put it in your mouth, put the oil in your mouth, and gently swish it around for about 20 minutes. You can do for 5 minutes if you find 20 minutes is too long. Swish it around for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes if you can, and then spit it out. Avoid gargling or swallowing the oil. You don't want to swallow that oil because they're going to pick up a lot of bacteria from your mouth. And then once you finish oil pulling, then you can brush your teeth as usual. Now, the coconut oil is very, very powerful. It has a lot of healthy properties in there that will help support the health of your gums, but it also helps support the digestive system or the digestive process, which starts with your saliva in your mouth. Because your saliva is a big part of your digestive process because it starts with breaking down the food the very moment the food enters into your mouth, and your teeth starts to grind down the food to make it easier for the rest of the digestive process. Okay, simple hack for teeth. Regular salt water, rinse with and cold compress. Himalayan pink salt is the salt we recommend. Naturally, it's a natural disinfectant, helps loosen food particles and debris. Clove oil, which is contained, one of the powerful oils in respirate lung oil. Clove oil is a very powerful antibacterial oil. I'm sure you heard of clove oil, growing up as a child, you put in clove on your teeth or on a child as a child starts to teeth, and, to avoid and dumb down that pain. It's dumbing down the pain because it's killing off a lot of the bacteria. And clove oil is just one of the 8 oils that are contained within our respirate lung blend. So clove has been used to treat toothaches throughout history. Because of the oil, it can effectively numb pain and reduce inflammation. It contains eugenol, which is a natural antiseptic. which is also an antibacterial. So it's very, very good at killing off bacteria and unhealthy bacteria at that in particular. All you do is dab a small amount of clove oil or the respiratory lung oil onto a cotton ball and apply it to the affected area. Or if you're really brave, you can put one drop on your finger and just rub it into your gums. I did that. Oh my goodness. I did it the other day. There's a bit of plaque building up in one of my teeth and I was like, no, this needs to go. So for a couple of nights, I got some of the respiratory lung oil, put some on my gum, put it around the back, had a little bit of pain. The pain went within about 2 days. I brushed, used my normal regime. I didn't even do the whole of the regime. I just did a couple. I did the silver spray. I did the Himalayan pink salt gargle, and I used the oil at night on the gums. And lo and behold, to my surprise, after 3 days, the piece of plaque just dropped out. I was like, wow, never seen that happen in my life. I was so shocked. So yes, it's a very powerful hack and it definitely works, and it's very worthwhile looking into and see if you can incorporate it into your teeth regime to keep your teeth expressively clean. Okay. Number 5. Wow, we nearly finished. We're nearly done. This is excellent. I'm on time. After this, we're going to have our testimonials and make sure our testimonials are on the line. Monica, you here? Are you with us, Monica? I know Dawn's here. Where's Clara?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. I want to make sure that I know that Dawn's here. Clara. Okay, yeah, Clara. Clara, you on as well, Clara? Are you there? Clara, are you with us? Just unmute yourself if you are. Or maybe she's driving. Okay. And what about Lily? Lily, are you there, Lily? Because I know Lily is logging on from the other side of the Atlantic. But anyway, let's crack on. So, number 5, social distancing from the fridge. Now, this is a really important and powerful hack that we had to include today because so many people are suffering with becoming overweight during this lockdown period, and we have to find a good hack that they can use that is practical and effective at helping them to reduce the cravings, and obviously to reduce the amount of weight that is just spiraling out of control for a lot of people, which is putting them at more risk because as they become more overweight, you become more susceptible and more vulnerable to infection, and you also can become susceptible to diabetes, high blood pressure as your heart starts to, the fat around your heart starts to build up. There's so many risks from you becoming overweight. And this is why this whole lockdown thing, I think it's such a bad thing for your health. They're trying to really improve the health of the nation, but all the things they're doing are scientifically, clinically proven to damage your health. I really have to question the motives, but nonetheless, we're going to look at some really powerful hacks that you can use that can help you to offset that so you're not going to become or fall victim or fall prey to these rather sinister measures that are being forced upon us. Okay, so we have a thing called parasites. Let's talk about parasites real quick. Now, parasites are things that develop as a result of your intake of foods that they like, to keep it really simple. Parasites love the foods that you love, and they hate the foods that you hate. They love sweet foods, they love savory foods, they love pasta, they love rice, they love carbs, they love chocolate, they love salty foods. They love all the things that are bad for you. And they really feed off them. Parasites are one of the things that are behind a lot of conditions today that we face and that we see on a regular basis in our practice. But parasites is not something that's recognized by modern medicine. They have parasite cleanses, but they more focus on doing them with animals. They don't really look at treating them within humans, but we see millions of people who are infested with parasites in one sort or another. You see the movie Alien, it's about a parasite, the hookworm that comes in with the mouth, and another mouth comes out and sucks the blood. That's what these parasites do within your body. So parasites, intestinal parasites, is a very common problem that many of us face. It's so common that many of us don't even know they exist or how to get rid of them, but we'll always prey to the effects of how they impact our daily life. And to give you some examples, if you find yourself craving sweet foods or junk food, especially late at night, you start going to the cupboard, you start going to the fridge, and you just want to eat something sweet or whatever you can find, you just want to eat it. That's parasites. Your body would never crave for sugar. It would definitely never crave for sugar late at night. These are classic signs that your body has some level of parasitic infection or infestation, more to the point, within your gut. Now, especially during lockdown, you find that you may have a lot of time sitting down, sedentary. You may find yourself going to the cupboards, or the fridge is always calling you, it's always calling your name. You go into the fridge, you've eaten, but you're going to go back there and still try and find something else to eat. again, this is going to feed the parasites and make them get stronger. So the battle is an ongoing battle. In addition to parasites, you've also got the effects of the parasites, because once you've overeaten, you then become tired and you start running out of energy. You start thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get more energy? I need to have something sugar or something sweet to give me a quick pick-me-up. So it's a really vicious cycle. Then you go and feed yourself more of the wrong type of foods, which is going to kick off that whole cycle again. And it's going to keep going round and round and round. And what's going to happen, you're going to keep putting on weight, piling on more and more weight. And then next thing you know, you end up in hospital. Something happens, your lungs, overload, your heart's not beating properly, or you get a blood clot because there's so much fat in your arteries. You're starting to clog up your arteries that the oxygen is not able to get through. Blood is not able to get through to where it's needed, to your brain, or your heart, or your other organs. And just a plethora of problems start developing within your body, unbeknown to you, because all you're doing is just constantly feeding yourself, but 9 times out of 10 with the wrong type of foods. So what do we use? We have a small combo, a very simple combo called a Triple X combo. It's a very powerful way to relieve, obviously, constipation, remove waste that clogs up your intestines. And it also helps to get rid of parasites. Now, there's 2 key products in there that are really effective at doing that. Number 1 is Oxyflush. Oxyflush really breaks down the excess fecal matter that accumulates itself in your colon. This is perfect breeding ground for parasites and other pathogens. Just like when you have a dustbin that's not been emptied in your house, it starts to become a breeding ground for bacteria. So it starts to smell, and the gases and different toxins start to form as a result of that bin that's not been emptied. And it's in that very claustrophobic environment that's got a very warm and very conducive to the proliferation of harmful bacteria. So when that happens inside your gut, that leads you into a state of disease or disorder, where other disease can start to form or other problems can start to form. Why? Because your immune system is going to rush to that area to try and start to eliminate some of that buildup of toxins, which is going to leave other parts of your body susceptible and vulnerable, in particularly your lungs. So when we use the Oxyflush gets in and starts to break down that fecal matter where the parasites are living in, and it turns it into liquid, and you pass it out in the morning. It works overnight, which is part of the body's natural healing and restorative mechanism and system or process. And it really supports that process by, helping to remove not aggressively, but quite effectively remove a lot of that waste that's accumulating and causing problems in your gut, and that's overloading your immune system. So once you've done that, that's one way to get rid of a lot of parasites. The second way is through the Elixir of Life. The Elixir of Life is a very powerful product. Now, I'm going to have somebody tell you about Elixir of Life, because I could talk about Elixir of Life all day. I've had so many people come on here and tell you stories about how powerful the Elixir of Life has been in terms of transforming their health. But just to keep it really simple, for the sake of what we're talking about here today, the Elixir of Life is very, very effective at destroying parasites at source. It really kills them in your gut, it kills them in your colon, and it destroys them in the blood. And once you use the Oxyflush, it eliminates them through your bowels. Now, in addition to eliminating parasites, Elixir of Life is also very good at eliminating toxins and heavy metals such as mercury, lead, inorganic iron, things that will cause problems in your blood if they're left there to build up over a period of time. So Elixir of Life is a very good product for removing impurities, in particular parasites, from your body, from your gut. In addition to that, because it's a natural earth-based mineral, it contains a lot of silica. It also contains zinc, iron, etc. A lot of really powerful minerals that really fill your cells with the relevant nutrients that the cells need to perform their function at a much higher level. As a result of this, the silica really helps with your collagen production. Your collagen is a protein that the body needs for almost every single function of the body. Every single function of the body requires collagen. Your hair, your nails, skin, your bones, every organ in the body requires collagen in order for it to function at its level. So the more collagen you have is the greater condition your body will be in. So we find a lot of people come back and say, oh, when I use Elixir of Life, my hair grows, because obviously the silica is really boosting the collagen production. So the hair starts to grow, the follicles are fed, the nails start to grow, the skin starts to improve. So many areas of the body improve. But we're just dealing with the parasite element of it here for now, but there's a lot of other benefits that you'll find are also very useful from incorporating that. And then the last part of the trio is the liquid oxygen. Now, obviously, a big part of our survival and our body's ability to remain alive is our capacity to intake oxygen. And we need oxygen for every single function of our organs and our tissues and our cells. So the more oxygen you have in the body is the greater the levels of health you'll be able to maintain within yourself. So liquid oxygen really helps to increase oxygen levels in your blood, which has a knock-on effect on so many other. If you keep yourself muted, whoever's outside, if you wouldn't mind, just keep your phone on mute. We're gonna be having some questions in a very short while. But yes, oxygen, liquid oxygen is very. Say again?
Do you want your stick?
Can you put yourself on mute, or can you find that person on mute then, please?
Yeah.
I don't know if they realize that their phone is on. It's not on mute. I can't find them. Can you put them on mute? Thank you. Yes. So liquid oxygen is the last of the trio. Very, very powerful, very, very effective. And the combination of them together, when you take the liquid oxygen to really increase the oxygen levels in your blood, obviously it's going to give you a lot more energy because you've got a lot of oxygen in your blood. The more oxygen you have in your blood, the more the cells can start to produce energy and produce the minerals and the stuff that you need to repair your tissues and repair your organs to get your body working to optimal levels. So the more you can have oxygen in your body is the more you can have your body. Oh, they can't get back on the Zoom. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so the more liquid oxygen you have, the more oxygen you have in your body, which allows your body to function at a more optimal level. So when you combine these three products together, while you're on your lockdown, taking oxygen on a regular basis is going to really boost your energy. So it's going to reduce the reliance on you going to the fridge to get a quick pick me up, because you've already got that pick me up that you've taken first thing in the morning, which is keeping your energy levels high, which will eliminate the need for you to get a quick fix, which is more than likely going to be something that's going to be rather unhealthy and add to your already spiraling weight. Then you've got the Oxyflush that you can use at night to really get rid of the waste and the stuff that you've built up. If you've taken too much food that you shouldn't have had, it allows you to remove a lot of those impurities and keep your immune system functioning at optimal levels. And then the kind of thing that brings it all together is the Elixir of Life, because it's really full of nourishment to really nourish your body and to really remove the parasites, remove the toxins, remove the heavy metals. But then it replaces your body's silica and your collagen. You've got a higher level of collagen, elastin, and all the tools that your body needs to really maintain healthy muscles, healthy skin, healthy joints. I actually had a client, her husband, he was like 76 years old. He was meant to have a triple bypass in February last year. He's been taking Elixir of Life for about 6 months straight. And he went for his pre-operation assessment in February during lockdown. And they said to him, "Oh, your heart's improved. I don't think we need to do the operation for a triple bypass anymore. We only need to give you a stent." Now, the wife was over the moon and ecstatic at this new development, because she said herself, heart conditions don't improve. They only get worse. The reason why his heart condition improved, and so dramatically, because he was taking Elixir of Life consistently, which was building up the collagen in his body. Now, collagen feeds tissues, it feeds joints, and it feeds muscles. Guess what? The heart is a muscle. So because the heart was receiving that collagen constantly over a period of time, it started to repair and to rejuvenate and to regenerate the cells and the tissues within the heart that was starting to repair whatever damage that was caused, that was warranting him to have a triple bypass, and now left him only having to have a stent as a means of intervention to make the heart function at optimal levels compared to where it was 6 months prior. So Elixir of Life is a powerful product, and when you use it in combination with the other products, the liquid oxygen and the Oxyflush, it has amazing, 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 amazing results. At the moment, we got it on a special. I'm talking about some of the other products. We've got it on a special offer. Where's that one there? Okay, yeah, so you got the Elixir of Life here, the triplets combo here. It's on a 10% special offer at the moment, because obviously Valentine's, it ends tomorrow at 12 midnight, but it allows you to get access to some of these hacks that we've mentioned today and to utilize them and just have them in your, give them to your children. Oh, here comes Clara. Give them to your children. Give it to your children, because Elixir of Life can be used with children. Children have a very unhealthy penchant for sweets and chocolates and things they shouldn't really have. Put a teaspoon in their milk, or put a teaspoon in whatever you give them that they will take, and you'll find that they just find themselves not craving for certain of the foods that and they know are not good for them. So just by having that in your diet on a regular basis, it really helps you to calm down some of these bad foods and some of the side effects that come with it, where they're over hyperactive, or they don't want to sleep at night, or just things that they do that are abnormal behaviors that they're displaying as a result, directly linked to their food and the intake of some of these foods. So those are some of the hacks that we've spoken about and we've covered today. I'm going to quickly just show you how some of other products are available on the site that you can access and use. Some of them you can get them from your supermarket, some of them you can get them from your local store. We've got a lot of different combos. We tend to use things as combos because we want the body to always have access to what we call our HERN protocol, which is H for hydration, E for elimination, R for rest, and N for nutrition. We always incorporate these 4 pillars in whatever we do. Why? Because the body always needs water. A lot of people are suffering with what we call unintentional chronic dehydration. So the more you can take water into your body, is the more healthy your body will become. So each of our products that you find that you get, it always comes with a tag that says you take it with 500 mils of water. So the more products you're taking is the more hydration you're going to take into your body. So all our products always are advised to take them with the HERN protocol. H for hydration, which is obviously the water. E for elimination, having some kind of product that's going to help to eliminate toxins from your body, which is Oxyflush, Elixir of Life. They're very key at that. R is for rest. Rest, we've got to get you sleeping, because if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. So all these products together, oxygen, the added oxygen, the Elixir of Life, taking out the toxins, taking out the impurities, taking out the parasites. These are going to help you to sleep deeper at night, because obviously the more you can sleep is the more your body can reheat itself naturally, and you feel a lot more, more rejuvenated the next day. So R is for rest. It's a very important part of your program. And N is for nutrition. Obviously everything is food, but the body's only interested in the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients. So we're going to make sure you're getting as much nutritional content into your diet as possible. So all of our products, all our combos, always try to incorporate those as a rule of thumb. Okay, so there's some of the combos that you can get online. Obviously, our objective is helping you to attain freedom through well-being. Our values are being honest, caring, and empowering, which we try and incorporate into everything that we do. We're all about, really empowering you with knowledge, with information, and obviously, most importantly, the tools to apply to, bring out the best version of yourself, especially in relation to your health. Okay, so that concludes my presentation today. I know I didn't speak about the water. I've got to quickly tell you about the water, but I'll tell you about the water afterwards. Let's get on to some testimonials. I hope you found the presentation empowering and enlightening. I hope you found the information useful. These are hacks that we've been using. There's a lot more hacks that we'll probably have to do another version of to cover some other hacks, but these are ones that we've been using to quite great effect for a long period of time. And I want to make sure that you have access to these hacks as well. I saw your hand raised there, Neil. I'll let you come on in a second. We want you to make use of these hacks so you can utilize them to the best of your capacity and capability to make sure that you can keep your health in your hands. We don't want people to be, getting sick and dying unnecessarily if it can be avoided. So let's make sure you really empower yourself with information like these that can really, give you the tools and the knowledge that you need to really take charge of your health and bring your immune system to that next level, because you're going to need it for this period that we're facing and the time ahead. Okay. Oh, thank you. No problem. All right. So let's get some testimonials on. Right. So who we have in the house? Let's start off with Clara, because Clara, she just joined us. She's the one responsible for spawning the Elixir of Life, the Triple X combo, because she saw me telling a lady about it and she saw how the products were so effective. But she's been using the Triple X combo for a number of years, and she had a lot of benefits and a lot of changes in her life. So we'll just spend a minute just to tell us the main things that you've experienced in relation to the Triple X combo, because you are the innovator. Oh, somebody uses I use respiratory oil and I bought them for several members of my family. All right, Sharon, I'll get you on in a second as well. So let's start.
Okay.
Go ahead, Clara. Let's tell us about your use of the Triple X and how you found it. And if it's Lily really on.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Aaron. Thank you. So I had brought a friend to see you back in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who had chronic arthritis and was literally bent over and had 2 walking sticks. Mm-hmm. At that point, 4 years ago, she was 73 or 74, I don't remember. I think she's 76 now. So she should have been a little over 73. Mm-hmm. And I had brought her because she was in pain, and I mean pain 24/7.
Wow.
She had been to the NHS, and NHS had literally discharged her because they said to her, they had done a scan, they had done MRI, she had done X-ray, they had done everything, and they had no clue what it was that was with her. Of course, the nearest they had was to say she had arthritis. She was bent over. She was permanently in pain. Mm-hmm. And after I had met you, I think a week before, at a dinner party somewhere, at an after dinner talk. So I brought this elderly friend to see Aaron. And while Aaron was prescribing everything she needed, I was just I guess intuitively you can say picking up on the things Aaron was talking about. And of course, because I couldn't do the schedule she was on. So everything you had said that evening, Aaron, I picked out 3 things. I sat with Oxyflush
Mhm.
because I knew I needed a good clean detox.
Mhm.
And then Elixir of Life to replenish all the minerals we lose as we get older,
Mhm.
and definitely liquid oxygen to infuse oxygen into all the cells and all the organs and everything.
Mhm.
And prior to starting all of those, my stomach was so big. Literally, I got on the train every morning, and people would look at my face. She looks a bit advanced in age, but hey, her stomach is big. She's probably pregnant. And there was this particular Black young man who was always on my coach. So he'll try to catch my eyes. Maybe he'll beckon me over and give me a seat, and I'll sit down. But the minute I started using Oxyflush, gradually my waistline started coming down. I could get into my skirt. I didn't need to wear big shirts to cover my tummy anymore because I could tuck in my shirt and wear a belt. And I could see him looking at me. I think after about 2 or 3 weeks. So what happened to your pregnancy then? But he was still so polite and so nice. Every time our eyes met on the coach, in the same coach, he'll beckon me over and he'll give me a seat. And gradually shirts I couldn't wear, I could now get into. And quite a number of friends noticed and were like, what happened to your stomach? Well, my stomach disappeared because I got something called Oxyflush, Elixir of Life, and liquid oxygen. And that did the magic. So that's me to the side. But the one I was particularly impressed, grateful, and ever appreciative for is that this elderly friend who was 73 at the time, she's going to be 77 in April, from using 2 walking sticks and literally bent over within 6 weeks. But she's a very, very disciplined person. So I'm going to emphasize that. If you say to my friend, take 3.5 grapes at 4 o'clock, she will not take 3 3/4 at 2 minutes to 4. 3.5 grapes at 4 o'clock, she will take. So within 6 weeks of you putting her on the diet and all the nutrients and supplements and everything, this woman was standing ramrod upright.
Wow.
From having to go from East London to buy her plantain, banana, beans, watermelon in the summer and everything, she was doing her own shopping and pulling her own trolley along. So she's been wonderful. And she's still on those regime because from time to time, she'll put her money together and ask for maybe 4 or 5 bottles of Oxyflush, Elixir of Life, and everything she needs. And she still takes them religiously.
Wow.
Religiously. But she's so happy. She's so impressed. Long and short, her pain disappeared. So when she went back to the doctor, of course, they asked what she used. She said, no, it's only the tablets they gave her she's been using. And they believed. They noticed she was no longer walking on walking sticks. The pain had gone, and she was now sleeping through the night. Her pain had become so chronic that she woke up, I think she said 2 o'clock on the dot. It's as if the pain had programmed itself into her body. But now she sleeps through the night, all that fluid, all the supplements, and she's hale and hearty now. Gets on the train, goes to the market, goes visiting before the pandemic, that is, and she's fully back on her feet.
Fantastic. 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 Thank you so much. I love your spirited testimonies. You're always full of fire and passion when you
thank you, Aaron.
Like I said, it's your innovation. So I always have to applaud you for giving us the inspiration to put those 3 products together as a combo, and they're still effective till today as testament to your innovation and sharpness. So thank you so much once again. I guess we've got to put another step in the company now. Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Clara. Appreciate it. I didn't mention about the pain element. I forgot about the pain, but yes, pain reduction is another big element of the Elixir of Life. Once it starts to restore the joints and the muscles and the collagen starts to kick in, you find that any inflammation linked to your joints will then just literally start to disappear, coupled with the extra oxygen and obviously the removal of all the impurities from the Oxyflush. So yes, fantastic. Thanks for reminding me of that. Sharon S. Sharon, you've been using the Respirate quite a bit. I just saw you messaging in the group. Are you still there, Sharon? I know some of you have gone to do your rice and peas. Are you still there, Sharon? I know you said you've been using. Is it Sharon or Sharon? Let's have a look. Sharon S. Yes. You still there, Sharon? Okay. Right. Someone connected to audio. Let's get Dawn. Because I know, Dawn, you've also been using Respirate and you're an avid fan of Elixir of Life. Let's quickly hear from Dawn. Oh, Sharon's trying to get back in. Let's quickly hear from Dawn.
Yeah,
We'll hear from you straight after Sharon. Sharon, I know I just called you, but we'll get you straight on after Dawn. Tell us about the let's talk about the Respirate first. I know you've got some unusual uses for the Respirate, and then we'll talk about the Elixir of Life after. I know you love the Elixir of Life. So let's talk about the Respirate. How have you been using the Respirate?
Yeah, I've been using it for about 1 year now, and I'm never without it. As soon as I'm like halfway through the bottle, I make sure I get my order ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy that you get like a 20% extra too, because it's not just me I'm using it for. I use it for my 3 cats as well. Sounds crazy, but what it is, 2 of the cats are born with respiratory issues, and they snore, and they're really nasally. So I have to put it on my radiators to help them with their breathing. Sometimes when they get too congested, I'm having to pay like vet bills just to get one little treatment thing, which is like drugs, to help them clear their nasal and their chest.
Mm-hmm.
I've saved like, I'm not exaggerating, because the medication is about £100 for 2 of them.
Wow.
So I've saved myself at least probably about £600-700 in vet fees, because all I have to do is just put 1 drop. I just put 1 teardrop on the radiator every night, and they're so much better. I don't really have to be taking them to the vet as often. Myself, I put it on. Yeah, I know it sounds mad. The cat, yes, but it's 2 of them because they're related. They're both got the same condition. And I use it for myself with my mask. I take it to work because I work in a hospital with 132 people going through mental health and addiction. So, you know, and staff have caught the COVID, but the residents haven't for some reason. So because we're having interactions with really busy centre, I put it on my radiator in my office to protect myself, because of people going in and out. And I've noticed that I've been luckily safe so far. And sometimes when I do feel slightly like congested, there's a lot of heating in the building, a lot of radiators and stuff. So I'll always put the water down. I put some of the liquid on the radiator, and I'm okay. And you know when they say don't put mentholated stuff on you and go outside, I've noticed that there's no side effects, stuff like, oh, it will give you cold on your chest, or it will do this to you, it will do that to you. It doesn't do any of that. I'm fine. So I would salute it 110%.
Thank you.
Definitely salute it. And I've got other people to buy it as well.
And they've all had the similar type results.
Yes, they're all using it. They're buying it on a regular, because it saves them buying all these kind of different concoctions of medication and drugs. They can just use that and see. Because even some of the staff that got sick, I said to them, order this, and they said within like 2-3 hours that they could breathe properly.
Wow.
They could actually, they feel like their brain opened.
Wow. Yes, because it actually does.
I don't know what you make it with. Yeah.
It's a proprietary formula. It's a proprietary formula. But yes, it's all natural oils.
I know, what's in it? Yeah.
All natural oils.
Even the spray one, the one that is more, the other one that is similar to the small one that you can spray.
Aroma Fresh Duo.
Yeah, that one is really good as well. I use that just as much when I'm traveling about.
Oh yes, the Aroma Fresh, very, very good for, especially when you're in confined spaces and you feel a little bit threatened by other people's germs or other people coughing. Yeah. You can just spray it around you.
Yeah.
It almost just sanitizes.
Yeah, I do.
Creates a little halo. Thank you so much for that, Dawn. I'm going to get back on in a sec to talk about the Elixir of Life. Just hold it right there. Stick a pin right there. Okay. Sharon.
All right.
I know Sharon's been using the Respirate quite extensively as well. Are you there, Sharon? If you can unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. Just tell us about your experience of using the Respirate for you and your family.
Yeah, for me as well. It's been I forgot when you started the healing rooms. That's when I first bought it.
Okay.
And I I tell you what I've noticed as well, not just for the lungs and things. So what I try and do is every time I go out,
Mhm.
when I come back, I steam my face.
Oh, yes, good idea.
So that if I do, and I'm unawares of something, I steam my face every single time. Because I'm working from home at the moment, so I'm not out very often. So when I do, but I use it at night, overnight, and when I do, oh my God, the sleep is so deep. And then the first time I tried it, I was shocked, and I didn't use it again because I thought, no, this is just a fluke. And I tried it again, and every time, honestly, the sleep is so deep. And then I didn't use it again for a while. I'm thinking, what's the matter with it? What's more? Did it again, and I felt so good. And I'm thinking, why am I feeling so good? But and I have bought it for several members of my family.
Wow.
My youngest son, I think he used it for a bit, then stopped. I'm at the process trying to encourage him to use it again, and I'm actually planning to buy some for other people that I know, because I believe in it.
Yes. And when you have something that works, it works. So you're not going to be looking to go elsewhere and take a chance with something that you may not have the same level of results for. And if it, as the results being consistent with everybody's using it in different situations, have they all had the similar type results?
Yes, because I think my son I think he was having a problem with his snoring, and so when he was using it, that did sort of like change. But then he had a baby, and then things go out the window that you normally do. Yeah. So I'm trying to get him back into it again. We had a conversation the other day about it. So yeah.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sharon. Really, really powerful. And I wish you all the best with your use of Respirate in the future. And I hope you can come back and give us even more testimonies of more results and more stories with other members of your family. Because we love when we hear a whole family getting benefits from just one product. Have one product that's impact the whole family. It's such an amazing thing, and it really inspires us to really get more of these type of innovations and these type of platforms out to more people so they can all tap in and utilize and experience the benefits that you have. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you. My pleasure. I really enjoy it. Okay, so we've had Sharon talk about the Respirate. We've had Dawn talking about Respirate. Let's quickly go on to Monica. Are you there, Monica? Monica.
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. Yes. Monica.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
You've renamed that Oxyflush King Oxy.
That's the one. That's the one.
Tell us about King Oxy.
Yeah, the reason being, just in December, I was really feeling fluey. You start out fluey, but then when you look at all the list of COVID, it's pretty much similar. Anyway, because I felt really bad, and it was coming up to New Year's Eve, and everyone's still. I know we shouldn't have been mixing, but you've got family coming over. I was feeling really, really rough on New Year's Eve. I then started taking Beecham's powder, Lemsip, and paracetamol because I had this terrible, terrible migraine. And after a while, it started making my skin really itchy. I don't suffer from allergies. I don't know. Go and sit. Sorry. Go sit down, both of you, and I'll come to you in a minute. Go sit down for a minute, and I'll come to you in a minute. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You don't suffer with allergies?
Quickly. Yeah, I don't suffer with any allergies. So whilst I take, but it was making everywhere itch, like my chest, my back, my stomach. It was just everywhere. Okay. So what I then did, I stopped taking all the other medications. Are you still there?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Stop taking all the other medications, just to say quickly, and then started just using the Oxyflush to flush my whole system. So I use the Oxyflush to flush the system and just continuously drink water. Now, I obviously was feeling very fluey for a while, so I did this for about 15 days solid because I couldn't eat. I felt really rough, and I had like a heavy flu. But whilst doing so, this really helped me. Whereas I didn't have to take any traditional medication anymore, but literally just stayed on Oxyflush and drink the water. Within about 3 days, I started to feel a lot better. My whole symptoms started going. And remember, no more paracetamols, no Lemsip, no nothing, just Oxyflush and water and chicken soup. That was it. Well, I didn't obviously eat the chicken, but just had the soup just to keep me going, because that's all I could manage. But that's why I renamed King Oxyflush. So any of my family that are suffering. So whilst I caught that, my partner Barry, he caught the same flu symptoms. Also, his father then went on going to hospital because now they said he's got COVID. But he started coughing because I was coughing. He's then since carried on getting ill, and I've been totally fine, no complaints whatsoever. And that's why I call it King Oxyflush.
Wow.
And he's 93 to add to it. Exactly, because obviously it was Christmas time and they all came over, so I couldn't say don't come because so it was tricky. And and Oxyflush set everything straight for me. That and I used the respiratory when I had the coughing and the nasal problems at night time in my bedroom. Just all the natural products that I use that I get from you is what I started using.
Wow. Perfect. And you can see that just using the Oxyflush, you've left from doing Lemsip and all the other traditional remedies. You went straight to the Oxyflush, straight to the gut, went to the source, got the immune system freed up, boosted it up. The immune system after 2 or 3 days, it was free. It went to deal
and
with
the water. Because even though you've got the migraines,
Yeah.
just keep drinking the water and Oxyflush. So sometimes I was taking Oxyflush twice for the day on top of the water, just because I wasn't eating because I had no appetite anyway. Just keep drinking the water to keep the system flushing all the time to get rid of whatever's in the system.
And as you eliminated, the more toxins you eliminated, the stronger your immune system came and created the body's ability to fight off whatever was attacking you. And
while everybody else went downhill and ended up in calling the ambulance, hospital, and all sorts of things.
You were going that complete other direction because obviously you're feeding your immune system, taking the pressure off it, and obviously getting yourself.
And they were still around me.
Wow.
And testing with COVID and going into hospital for it.
Look at that.
So
Took
the
yourself
Oxyflush really stood a real good testimony for me because I was the only one that felt ill. Everybody came around me for the Christmas period. They then started coughing after me, and I kept saying, "Well, stop coming," and they just went downhill. Why I started to get better within the week. I was feeling 100% again.
Wow. That is so powerful, Monica. I really appreciate that. Really grateful for that. And just again, to be testament to the fact that you've stuck with Oxyflush, you named it King Oxy and you stayed faithful. You went back to the king. You went back to the king, and the king of the body is the immune system. And you put the king to work, and he came up trumps every time. Your immune system's in your gut. So the more time.
What I've used also, sorry to cut you, what I've used also alongside King Oxyflush, I use the blood cleanse. In the mornings, the blood cleanse in the gold packet, where you just boil it with water. It doesn't have any taste anyway. Every morning, just to keep that flushing going through the system as well with the Oxyflush.
Okay, yes, because obviously the more you've cleaned in the blood, obviously the more the immune system, the cells, the T cells, the B cells are able to get to where they're needed, and to start to really impact the disease that's built up in the area. So wow. Good. Another good suggestion. Obviously, Oxyflush and blood cleanser are really powerful because obviously
I swear by those. Yeah, and those control your hot flushes for mature women that's going through menopause.
Yes. I remember you've been
controls the hot flushes
for a long time. Interesting. So we're still looking at the impact of the blood cleanser on the hot flushes because you've been saying that and you've been using it for a number of years now. The blood
and it's helped me to stay well.
Yes.
Because even though Barry's father went to have a second test for COVID yesterday to see if he's still testing positive, so we're still waiting on the results. And this is all from the impact of me from December.
Wow.
And I didn't go and get tested. I feel totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm 100%. I'm still using Oxyflush and blood cleanser. I don't use Oxyflush every day, but once a week just to keep on top of everything else.
Okay. And you look amazing.
For the germs.
You look amazing as a result of it.
I feel wonderful, I've got to say.
And I'm sure you dropped a few pounds into the bargain as well.
I did. I lost a stone, I've got to say. I lost 1 whole stone, and that wasn't because I was trying. I felt ill and I couldn't physically eat. But yes, it all goes hand in hand. As well as it doesn't mind if you lose the weight, as well as you're clearing the system and you're not using traditional medication. So it's, that's got to be a bonus.
Wow. Yes.
Got to be a bonus.
No, absolutely. Weight loss is always a big bonus. I've got a quick message from Sharon. Sharon says she's got to add. Thank you so much for that, Monica, by the way.
You're welcome.
God bless you. Sharon says she's got to add that she said I should have added that it's the first winter that I haven't had a cold, etc. And I teach and I'm surrounded by young children. Obviously, again, because she's been using that respirate continuously because it's really kept her immune system in tip-top shape. It's kept the bacteria and the pathogens and the viruses at bay. So even when other people have been coughing and pushing out lots of bacteria into the air around her, This is her first winter that she hasn't caught not even a cold. How much more flu? She's not even caught the common cold. So really powerful testament to the power of the oils and the Respirate lung support as a product that everybody should have in their house and in their toolkit for boosting their health. So thank you so much for that, Sharon, and for you, Monica, as well. Message in the chat says, how do we get the discount on the products, please? Right, at the moment, the discount is still there. If you go into the website, vivonutrients.com, www.vivo nutrients, as in nutrients, vivonutrients.com. All those products are still available with the 10% discount. If you simply click on the product, when you add it to your basket, the discount will be applied at checkout. Yeah, it'll be applied on the checkout. So go to the website, vivonutrients.com, or gojuicedetox.com and click on shop, and it will take you to where you need to be. Alrighty, you can access the discount there and then live. So the last testimony, I hope I've missed anybody. If I've missed anybody, just really message me in the chat or unmute yourself. Anybody got any questions before we bring on the last testimony regarding the elixir of life? No problem, Mark. Anybody got any questions? Anybody any questions before we bring the last testimony? Going to bring one more testimony before we wrap up. Okay. If you have got a question, you can just unmute yourself and just ask the question on any of the hacks that we mentioned today, or any of the information that you've heard, or any of the testimonies that you've heard, or any of the products that you may want to get more information on.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Just about the eye products. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yes, the eye combo, they're all, again, liquid-based products, but actually one of them is a tea. It really nourishes the eyes from inside. It's got all your eye bright, your euphrasia, all the things you need to nourish the eyes from the inside. So you take it at night, you drink it at night, and it really works on the eyes overnight by nourishing the eye, as well as removing any impurities that are damaging the eye, so that the eye can repair itself naturally. Externally or internally, again, you have the Eye Max, which is a liquid. So you've got the tea you take at night, and you've got the liquid, which is the Eye Max, that you also ingest twice a day. It's very, very rich in all the nutrients that the eye needs to really nourish itself, to repair the eye. And then the last product is the Eye Mist, which is an external product, which is you spray into your eyes or spray onto your eyes to really impact any kind of inflammation or gunk that may be building up in the eyes. If you've got dry eyes or watery eyes, it really helps to cleanse the eyes and to remove any bacteria that may be causing inflammation, again, to support the eye's natural healing mechanisms and to allow them to function unhindered. Go ahead.
Does it help with if you have watery eyes?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you use the eye combo, all the three of them combined together helps to unblock any ducts that are in the eyes that may be clogged. It also helps to remove any debris that may be causing the eye ducts to fill up. That will cause water to not drain away properly. So therefore, you find that it impacts all functions of your eyes, depending where your starting point is. So yes, the three of them together, working on multiple systems, will always have a positive effect on the overall function of the eye as a whole. Alrighty. Go ahead. Say again.
I just said thank you. Thank you.
No problem at all, Yvonne. Thank you so much. Okay. Dawn, last testimony on Elixir of Life, because I know you're Elixir of Life top #1 fan. Where's Dawn? I've lost her. Okay, Dawn, you still there? You still there, Dawn? Okay. Also, Doreen, thank you so much for joining, Doreen. Anyway, if Dawn's there, you can come on again and mute yourself, Dawn, once you get your whatever technical issue maybe have experiencing sorted out. But thank you so much, everyone that's joined. This has been our first Healing Rooms webinar, wellness seminar on healthy hacks that you can use to keep yourself healthy during lockdown. We've mentioned a lot of the combos that you can access. You can also access, as I said, you can also access all the products we said on vivonutrients.com. Quick question from Margaret. Erin, can you use the eye mist spray if you wear contact lenses? Absolutely, you can use it if you wear contact lenses. It really helps to nourish the eye and to water the eye and to remove any impurities that you may be experiencing within the eye, or that may have been building up in the eye, because there's a lot of dust in the air, a lot of dust in the environment. There's a lot of pollution out there that's going to be impacting your eye. So the more you can use to clean the eye and keep the eye clean and healthy externally, is the more the ability of the eye to repair itself will continue to increase and improve. Okay. Lastly, before I forget, the water. Our water is now available on the website. You can go to the website and see our water. It's very powerful reverse osmosis water. The water is so clean, it's so clear. It's called ultralight water because the water has no impurities, 0 impurities. If you ever did a test on conventional water and then we tested the normal our water, you see all the gunk that comes out of other waters, and you see how nothing comes out of our water because everything has been removed already. It's gone through 7 very high-powered filtration processes, so it's taken every pathogen, every iron, every lead, every metal, every parasite out of the water. So the water is so clean, it's almost like structured water now. It's almost in its perfect hexagonal shape, which means when the water goes in, it will actually start to take minerals or toxins out of your body, because water is not meant to bring minerals in, it's actually meant to take impurities out. So when you drink our water, it's so clear, it's so clean, it actually starts to detox you. You can add minerals to it if you like, pre-dissolved minerals. You can add those in if you want to really mineralize the water. The water is cleaner than ionized water, it's cleaner than distilled water. It's super clean water, but it's in such a high state, it actually starts to really heal the body and starts to bring about or help the body to bring about organic healing from within. That water is available on the site. It's called Ultralight Pure Drinking Water. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar presentation. All I've left to do is to thank all those that have taken part. Thank you so much for giving up your Valentine's Sunday to spend time to be with us and to listen. We've gone over the time a little bit, so I do apologize. Thank you very much, Princess Glory, for opening with the prayers. Thank you so much to Clara for your testimony. Thank you, Margaret, for your testimony. Thank you, Dawn, for giving your testimony, and thank you, Sharon, for sharing, and all those that ask questions. Thank you so much. The video will be posted very soon in the healing rooms on our Telegram chat, and you can access the video on our YouTube. Simply type the words Vivo Nutrients when you get in. Remember to like, give a thumbs up to the videos, and subscribe, and also don't forget to share. Lastly, before we go, Clara, did you manage to get hold of Lily? You didn't get hold of her?
No, I didn't. She was going into a meeting. Sorry, I didn't
Okay.
I didn't respond to you. No, she couldn't come on.
Okay, no problem at all. Alrighty, so thank you to everyone that's joined today. Have a lovely afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and your Valentine's Sunday at that. If you're celebrating or you're indulging, don't eat too much. And remember to stay healthy, because your health is your wealth. Alrighty, goodbye from me. Oh, Dawn, she's back, finally. Dawn, let's get you on quickly. I know it's the last one. At least we get you documented on Document, just to tell us about your Elixir of Life, your experience with Elixir of Life, because that is one of your favorite products. You're one of its biggest fans for the last 2 years. If you could share quickly, Dawn, your experience of using the Elixir of Life. Unmute yourself if you can.
Yeah, it's my cocaine, basically. I love my Elixir of Life. I go everywhere with it. It has really helped my skin, because I used to suffer with, I have oily skin anyway. I have really, really oily skin, but I used to really suffer with a lot of acne and spots and pimples and stuff. And I've noticed since I've used it, I'm not an antibiotic. I used to be on antibiotics for my skin for years. So I gave up the antibiotics and I was going to take the Elixir of Life, and I don't need no more rubbish that I put on my face, put all these spot creams on overnight, put in all these antibiotics in my system. I just take that, and I've noticed that my hair's a lot softer, my skin is less oily, and I don't have acne flare-ups no more, and my digestion's a lot better. So I think it's done an all round for me as well, because I've got arthritis in my knees as well. So my knees are even a lot better as well, because they injected my knees a couple of years ago, and I said I would never do it again. But since I've been taking the Elixir of Life, I've noticed that I forget that I've got knee problems. I don't know if it's healed it or it masked it. I don't know what the powder's done, but it's just, I don't hear it creaking anymore. I used to climb upstairs and you could hear my knees creaking.
Yeah.
And now I don't hear it anymore. There's still slightly, not 100%, but it's like drastically changed about 60%.
Wow.
And I like the taste of it. If I could put it on my face, I would.
Yeah. You made the first Elixir of Life mud mask, face mask. Yes, might get in the lab.
I was going to try it, you know.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to mix it, put it on my face.
Yeah, you should. You should. We'll get you in the lab, and we'll get you to be our first guinea pig when we
Yes, you first. I would lick my own face.
Yeah. I know you really love it. Oh, that's powerful. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Dawn. I know you really have, had a really long-standing relationship with Elixir of Life, and you've always got a lot of positive things to
I
say.
do.
Thank you so much
I
for sharing
do.
that and for empowering other
Alright.
people with the knowledge and
Okay.
access to such a wonderful product. Okay, so that's the last of our testimonies today. As I said, thank you so much, everyone that's hung on and stayed with us for the whole 90 minutes. We look forward to sharing the video with you and for you to taking it and sharing this with as many people as we can far and wide so they can get access to this information and access to the hacks so that they can really improve their health and take charge of their health and put their health back into their hands where it needs to be. Alrighty, thank you everybody that's been on the line so far. And thank you for those that have all stayed right to the end. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon and a great rest of Valentine's. Good afternoon from me. Goodbye and good day. Bye, Clara. Thanks, Clara. Thank you.
Bye.